Everyone, this is Gyan. Today I'm going to share a little bit on why writing self-forgiveness is difficult. Now, writing self-forgiveness is an act of taking self-responsibility for yourself. This means, through writing self-forgiveness, you are admitting that you are responsible for every single thing that exists inside of yourself and in this world. And that's a very difficult thing to admit because we like to not admit that and live in ignorance, believing we're victims, believing that we are simply human beings with human errors and human mistakes and there's nothing we can do about it. It's our nature to have all of these human traits that allows us to abuse, that allows us to be dishonest, that allows us to deceive and manipulate, instead of realizing that we are in fact responsible for every single thing that is here. So self-forgiveness, in the act of writing it, and while writing it, speaking self-forgiveness is difficult because the mind, as the energy generator of the consciousness, subconsciousness, and unconsciousness, does not want to take responsibility. Otherwise, it means the end of consciousness, because consciousness runs on energy. Energy is a polarity design, which is positive and negative. And once we take self-responsibility for who we are and what we create, there is no polarity game. There is merely us here breathing, moving in the physical, creating. And that creation is then based on the physical. The physical functions within common sense, and therefore it functions within what is best for all life. Now the mind does not work that way. The mind enjoys to have random energy highs and lows. The mind enjoys moods. The mind enjoys what it likes and dislikes. The mind enjoys games. The mind enjoys relationships that aren't supportive. The mind enjoys a world where there is always excitement or devastation. The mind enjoys things to stimulate it because that's what polarity requires. It requires stimulation. So when you have to sit down and when you have to decide that today I'm going to write self-forgiveness, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to take one point in my life, getting angry at my mom, getting angry at my dad, resenting my siblings, or, being possessed by being in love with this one girl every single day, thinking about just this one person. And I'm obsessed and obsessed and obsessed. There's so many things we can write about. We can write about our habits, our patterns, our addictions, our behaviors. We can write about everything that we do every single day in every single thing. Because every single thing is currently a polarity design to stimulate the mind-consciousness system, which is energy. Now, if we have to sit down and write, it's an extremely physical thing that we do, specifically if we write self-forgiveness. So, I dare you to take a 21-day challenge to write self-forgiveness for 21 days consistently on everything that you have faced. Start with the big things in your life and see if you can take on those things. Right, I forgive myself, that I have accepted and allowed myself to, when and as I am alone in my room and I find myself to be bored and nothing else to do, to have the thought come up and to then give it attention of watching porn and masturbating to porn. I forgive myself that I've accepted and allowed myself to, when and as that thought comes up of watching porn and masturbating to porn, to believe that thought and that it is valid and that I need to follow it. I forgive myself that I've accepted and allowed myself to want to give into that thought of watching porn and masturbating to porn because I do not want to do the things that I actually need to do, such as cleaning my room, doing dishes, doing extra activities. And I would rather postpone those activities, be bored and do nothing, and thus watch porn and masturbate to porn. This is an example of the things that we can write about. We can write about anything. If you're a shy person, angry person, frustrated person, if you're a happy person, if you are a bipolar person, schizophrenic person, if you're mentally not stable, it doesn't matter who you are, you can sit down. You can write self-forgiveness. And you must speak it out as you write it. And you will find you resist it. And that is normal. Because the resistance is the mind saying, no, you, the person, cannot be in charge. Leave the mind to be in charge. Let the mind direct you. Let your thoughts direct you. You, the person, the being, cannot be in control. But when you sit down and write self-forgiveness, when you speak self-forgiveness out, when you push through resistance, you are taking back authority. You are becoming the author of your life. You are standing as authority. You are saying, I'm forgiving myself. I am learning to understand myself. I'm learning to understand my creation. I'm learning to now give power back to myself and to stop the energy game, to stop playing in the mind as the thoughts, feelings, and emotions and to be thrown around everywhere with it, to stop getting possessed by energies, to stop that habit that you haven't been able to stop for years and years and years, and you know it's controlling your entire life, it's dominating your life. You can stop it. Take a pen and paper, take your computer, start a blog. You must check out the 7-year journey to blog, check out Destiny, join Destiny, write on the forums. All right, get active in writing. Writing is a physical grounding point in your life. Writing in self-forgiveness and speaking those words as you forgive yourself is an empowering, very, very empowering moment. If you don't know how to do it, we have blogs, we have explanations at Destiny to show you how you can do this, how you can change your life, how you can do it. But you have to be willing to do it for yourself. You have to be willing to do the effort, otherwise nothing's going to change. So, there will be resistance, and many people fall in this point after many, many years because the mind ends up dominating them and self-forgiveness even becomes irrelevant, which it cannot become irrelevant unless you become irrelevant. So, can we make ourselves relevant in this life? Can we make ourselves real? To not be robots that function on buttons such as thoughts, feelings, and emotions, but where we can be creators that actually takes direction, be the authors of writing who we are. And that's the act of what you're doing in self-forgiveness. You are writing the old out, writing in the new through the self-commitment statements. And there's a very specific structure for doing this and writing this. There's even on Equal products to show you how you can do this. There's even self-forgiveness products where you can see this is how self-forgiveness is applied if you would like to first get comfortable with it. So check it out, don't be shy. Thank you very much for watching. This is Kian. I hope this supported. If you have any questions, please ask. Bye-bye.